Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, before we go into anything, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. That was really cool. We spend so much time together on a nightly basis. It really feels like we're a part of each other's lives a little bit, and for you guys to tell me happy birthday in that quantity was really, really cool. That's definitely the most happy birthday wishes I've ever gotten in my life, so thank you for that. Now guys, I want to be honest. This is the weirdest video I think I've ever done based off of the news that's happening out of Massachusetts, okay? I'm going to give you a high level, just a little teaser at what we're going to talk about, but it does tie in directly to the Second Amendment movement and the Second Amendment rights of which you and I fight for every day on this channel. That's why we share out the videos, we make the videos, and we really spread the message of the 2A, okay? But if I were to tell you that in Massachusetts, last night, 1:30 a.m., a trooper comes upon two vehicles in a breakdown lane, stops to offer assistance. Then he notices 11 men dressed in full military garb with cameras on their person, some with rifles slung over their bodies, sidearms at hand. The car's full of weapons as well. They stop to refill manually on the side of the highway. And then when questioned about firearms licenses and everything, because they're in Massachusetts, they say, we don't conform to those laws, and when backup is called, they sprint into the woods and there's a 12-hour standoff. What? Okay, I'm going to be honest, we're going to dive in here. Let me know what you guys think, because something tells me, just a little something, nagging feeling, that we're not ever going to hear the whole story on this, but let's dive in. So the article that we're going to touch on, Massachusetts police arrest 11 men after standoff with armed group that does not recognize our law. So when I first saw that, I thought, militia group, police, this isn't going to be good. But that's not really what happened, and this is so interesting. And as we go deeper, it just gets weirder. But let me know what you guys think. Again, everything's linked in the description box below, right behind the newsletter sign up. So, here's what the actual police spokesman had to say about the incident we're talking about, and then we're going to dive into a few links and tie it back to the Second Amendment movement, which does have validity. But let's get to it.
Sidearms, pistols, some had a combination of both. The trooper made inquiries as to their driver's license status, asked them to produce relevant firearms licenses, and the individuals indicated that they had neither, or that they did not have them on their person. The trooper, given the situation, there were approximately 8 to 10 of these individuals, requested backup immediately. Backup responded both in the form of MSP backup and local assets that responded to assist the troopers. Further inquiry was conducted with the individuals that had been stopped in the breakdown lane. At some point during this interaction, a number of those individuals alight into the wood line with their firearms.
Okay, so that just sounds weird, right? But it gets here. Let's keep going. I'm gonna read a few of these little snippets from this article, and then we're gonna kind of tie it back to us actually in the United States for our rights. CNN. A standoff overnight between Massachusetts State Police and several heavily armed men in the woods ended Saturday morning with 11 arrests. So they were all arrested for firearms crimes because they're in Massachusetts. You can't have any of that in Massachusetts, right? And that's where we're going to tie into in a second. The men claim to be from a group that does not recognize our laws, according to a statement from the Wakefield Police Department. So their argument here is they're just nullifying the laws of that existing state because they just don't agree with it, and the Constitution supersedes it. It sounds very familiar, but let's keep on going. The trooper on scene requested driver's licenses and firearms licenses, but the individuals either said they didn't have them or they didn't have them in their possession. Okay. But this is starting to sound a lot like militia, right? Let's keep going, because like I said, it gets weird. He said that the group was making its way from Rhode Island to Maine for training. Okay, they're going to a training camp. Fine, whatever. But it's very interesting that they went through the heart of the anti-gun AR ban environment in Massachusetts with no paperwork, no nothing, saying, we don't need it. Weird enough? No. It keeps going. This part's the weird part. I know. We do not intend to be hostile. We do not intend to be aggressive, he later added. This is the leader of the group. We are not anti-government, we are not anti-police, we are not sovereign citizens, and we are not black identity extremists. Okay, so you're not political, you're not a militia, you're not even a citizen, which that could be a problem. What is going on? And they're going to training through a midnight run, 8 to 10 people, refueling their vehicle manually, all with armed weapons drawn and put on their person, on the side of a Massachusetts highway. This doesn't seem like a rights exercise. Okay, so like I said, this is the part where I'm like, we might get this story, but the story is really right here. Anyway, so we're going now what they're actually expecting this to go down the road, and this is more militia level, like sovereign citizen kind of thing. So here's what they're actually saying on CNN. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, a Moorish sovereign citizen movement emerged in the early 1990s. Okay, that's the group that they're claiming to be a part of, the Moorish Sovereign Citizens Movement. It is an offshoot of the anti-government sovereign citizens movement, which believes that individual citizens hold sovereignty over and independent of the authority of federal or state governments. And that is the tie-in directly to what we are going to talk about. Okay? Essentially, they're leaning on the Constitution supersedes any state laws which violate the Constitution, so your laws are null and void. Now, this sounds very familiar. If you've ever heard it, you could think about anything. You could think about it on drug application. You could think about it on women's health. You can think about it in gun rights. You can think about it across the board in any way, shape, or form. If you don't agree with it, you're not going to comply because it conflicts with your individual rights. And that's the piece we need to talk about. It's because the fight for the Second Amendment rights that we are going through every single day is not going to be won by going out and saying, this is my AR, I'm going to wear it while I refuel my vehicle. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I'm not saying you don't have the right to do so per the Constitution of the United States. Hear me very clearly on that. However, if you are in a state that is still undergoing pending litigation that the law of the land, or excuse me, of the state conflicts with the Constitution, but it's being enforced, you're not going to end up in a place where you're going to end up on a positive. You're going up against the existing systems that have been anti-gun forever, and you're going to have things on your record that are going to negatively impact you and the movement that you're associating and helping with. Because while they are unconstitutional, they are still law. And I'm not saying that we go and hand our guns in. I don't want you guys to misinterpret saying that we're not going to fight for our rights. But that's just the thing. The time to fight for our rights is every single day with our neighbors, with everybody, with sharing out these videos, getting involved in our politics, and really bringing in people who will respect the Second Amendment rights. And so we never have to even be in the position where you aren't going to comply on something because the battle is so far in our favor. And that's the message here. This is a weird scenario. I have no idea what's going to be the outcome, and we're probably never going to know on a civilian level. Let's just be honest. But there is application to say every single day fight for your rights. We have moves that are going from left to right across the country, and we are making moves for our Second Amendment rights, and it's important that we stay on that. But this point is going to get people in trouble. It raises tensions and makes people uncomfortable when it's much, much more effective to take the battle legislatively, politically, and in the everyday lives of American citizens and really exemplifying the blessings of the Second Amendment. And that's where we're at, and that's why I wanted to cover this, because there is a tie-in. But let me know what you guys think below. Until tomorrow, I'm Braden. I'll see you later.